Okay, YouTube, this is how to repair a cracked or chipped windshield. We're going to use the Permatex windshield repair kit, and these are all the pieces that come inside. You have the package, the instructions, a bag that has all these pieces. You get a prep pad, a push pin, you have an adhesive disc, you have a pedestal, you have the resin, you have a locking plunger syringe, you have a razor blade, and their curing strip. So those are all the pieces. Okay, just for the heck of it, we're gonna clean the inside of the glass too and put cardboard behind it so you can see the chip better. Okay, here's a shot of what we're dealing with. It has some cracking on the edges that you can't really see, but it's more like a decent chip, so see how it goes. Perform repair in shaded area. So we're parked in the shade right now. Not in direct sunlight, with the windshield temperature between 50 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. This kit repairs bullseyes only, not exceeding 1¼ inches in diameter. Alright, step 1. Clean loose pieces of glass from the damaged area with the push pin. Clean windshield around the damaged area with the alcohol towelette. Suggested, place a cloth near the bottom of the windshield below the damage. This will stop any resin that might flow from the repair area. Now we have our damaged area picked out, pretty clean, and we have a piece of cloth underneath the area to catch any drip. Okay, next step is to clean the area with the alcohol pad. Okay, once the area is prepped and cleaned, the next step is to take the adhesive disc, and what we're going to do is we're going to peel off the backing, the paper backing, and we're going to stick it so that the damaged area is in the center of the hole of the adhesive disc, and so that the tab on the adhesive disc faces upwards. Okay, now we're going to press the adhesive disc onto the glass firmly, and our goal is to eliminate air bubbles in the seal of the adhesive disc. And the instructions say to look from the inside of the vehicle to make sure there are no air bubbles. Okay, here's from the inside of the vehicle. It's hard to tell, but your goal is to push and rub the adhesive disc so that there's no air between the seal and the glass. So just keep rubbing, and you gotta press pretty hard. Okay, our next step is to peel off the other side of the adhesive disc. Ours is red. So we're gonna peel that off. Okay, our next step is to put what they call the pedestal onto the adhesive disc. And so what you need to focus on is lining up the round circle of the pedestal with the round circle of the adhesive disc, because the tabs aren't exactly the same size. You can't trust the tabs. So I'll show you what that looks like from the inside. Pedestal. So before committing and pressing the pedestal onto the disc, come on the inside and make sure that the center holes are lined up. Okay, our next step is to open the resin, so we're going to twist the cap off. And we're going to cut about an 1/8 inch down the tube to open it up. Okay, now we're going to stick the resin into the pedestal. We're going to push it down, and we're going to squeeze out resin into the cavity. And we want to save some resin for one of the final steps. So we're going to save about 1/4 of the resin. Okay, the next step, we're going to use this syringe plunger, and what we're going to do is we're going to stick it in and we're going to suck the air out of the resin. Okay, so I'm going to stick the plunger in as far as I can. And I'm going to draw the plunger up, and it wants to suck it back down, but you're gonna put the guard in to keep it from sliding down on the lowest indentation on the plunger, like that. Okay, here's a shot from the inside, and you can see the bubbles forming on the rim. And if you, in person and maybe on camera, there's one, you can see the bubbles rising up vertically, floating upwards. So the instructions say 10 minutes. We're gonna give it 10 minutes, maybe more, but we'll check back. Okay, we're back. After 10 minutes, we still saw bubbles rising, so we decided to wait some more. And it's been about 25 minutes, and we don't see bubbles rising, so we're gonna proceed to the next step. Our next step now is to apply downward pressure into the resin. So to do this, per the instructions, you temporarily remove the syringe. It lets air back into the syringe, and you're gonna twist the stem of the plunger to take it off the guard. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna push the syringe back in the pedestal, hold it down, and you're gonna push the plunger down and set it on the upper setting. Okay, now that we're applying downward pressure into the resin, per the instructions, we're gonna wait 20 minutes. Okay, it's been about 20 minutes of applying downward pressure into the resin, and here's a shot of the backside, and everything looks nice and clear. So we're gonna move on to the next step. Okay, next step, we're gonna take the syringe out. Now we're gonna I'm gonna try it with my fingers first, but if my fingers can't do it, I'll use the razor blade. And we're gonna remove the pedestal and the adhesive disc off of the glass slowly. Okay, so I've taken the disc off. Let's see. I've caught and I've wiped any residual resin. So if you have any remaining resin, you want to put a drop on top of your damaged area. And what you're going to do now is put your curing strip on top. Alright, so our resin over our chip sort of set up and created like a raised circle. So when putting the curing strip on top, it didn't want to lay down flat on the glass. So I'm pushing down, and I've taped the curing strip down to the glass to hold it. Okay, we've let the resin cure in the sun, and we're gonna take things off and scrape it clean. Okay, we've scraped everything clean and wiped everything, kind of rubbed it, and that's our chip. So ours was kind of an interesting chip. It may not have been like the poster boy chip to do this with, but it did help, and we're pleased with that. I can still feel a little bit with my fingernail, and ours is sort of cracked like internally inside the glass, so it is a little clearer and it doesn't catch your eye as much, and maybe we push some in deep enough to where it just kind of helps with the integrity of the chip and the cracks. So we're happy with that.